And just a few years back, like Philippines and China, because of this island in South China Sea, and even Israel. You know what? Israel is a very small country in the Middle East, and all over there are of Arab nations. Not only international tension, even at that time when he wrote this book, there's like a religious corruption. Again and again, Micah railed against priests who took bribes and then said whatever people wanted to hear. It seems like all leaders were on that. At that time, there's already like a religious corruption. I think a year ago, there's a big church in Toronto. We will not go somewhere. There's a good church, a big church, a mega church. And the pastor was sued or was investigated by CRA because of wealth and hidden wealth or money that using not for the ministry. There is corruption at the same time during the time of Micah, and also there's like a moral chaos at that time. This follows from this verse 2. It was every man of himself, the rich reaping of the fruit, and the leaders taking bribes, and everyone cheating everyone else. The merchants couldn't be trusted. The leaders couldn't be trusted. You couldn't be sure the members of your own family. And that's the situation. Now we have the picture when Micah wrote this, and that's why in the following verses we will see here about the corruption. Then Micah wrote this, and he said Micah wrote to a world facing huge problem. It means even today it's very relevant. It's so important. So Micah wrote a world facing huge problem, and he wrote condemning the sin and hypocrisy rampant among God's people in no uncertain terms. So he warned them of judgment to come. So this warning from Micah, it may talk to us today in our generation. So Micah talked to the people. And you know what? What is the people's answer? But they said, they know the problem, but they answer the God who created them, the leader of their nation, wrongfully. We will see here, what does God want from His people? The first one, they thought, the quality of sacrifice. Look at in verse 6. Okay? He said, with what shall I come before the Lord and bow down before the exalted God? Shall I come before Him with a burnt offering with calves a year old? You know what? They understand that through giving of this, a burnt offering, they will be okay with God. They will become acceptable. And the people have heard Micah's word of warning. Now they want to know. And what does God want from us? Or want from them? You will see the picture. There is like a problem. But what they want is to give. Like people, they want to bow down. That's a quality of service that they know. And secondly, not only the quality, but also the quantity. Look at in verse 7, letter A. Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000 of rivers of oil? You know what? We know Middle East are rich in oil. He said, if it's a quality He wants, then He perhaps is quantity, the idea to impress God by offering of 1,000 rams in a time, and then creating a river of oil flowing through the street. Surely that you make God happy. The idea is that extravagant sacrifice will convince God of their sincerity. But the answer is no, 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 no. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't want you. Not a quality, not a quantity. There is a problem that you need to see. And you see the other one is in verse 7. Letter B. This one is the ultimate sacrifice. You will see here. Shall I offer my firstborn for my transgression? the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul. We know that this is immoral suggestion because child sacrifice was forbidden by God. Yet practiced by the pagan people around Israel. So the people are suggesting that if they offer their firstborn son, the Lord will be pleased and will be forgive their sin. But God said, no, it is not. But how they responded to God's call during that time. Now let's see. So the people heard, but God rejected offer made by the Israelites because they had completely missed the point. They wanted to make a deal, and God wanted their hearts. Probably some of us, we are serving the Lord wholeheartedly, the quantity, the quality, the ultimate. But there's something wrong in our heart that we need to settle before the Lord. The same thing what happened with the Israelites. This is not the correct answer, but God is waiting. What does God want from His people? This is not the right answer. Look at in verse 8. Can we read it all together aloud? Can you see it there? Okay, read aloud. Verse 8. 1, 2, 3.
He has showed you what's the Lord require from you. Act justly and love mercy and walk humbly with your God.
Amen. Number one, what God wants them to do is justice. Means treating people right because you know God. And that's what, because you need. What's the problem? There's an international tension, religious problem, and a lot of things happening at that time. And God wanted justice. That's what God is waiting for, that right answer from the Israelites. You know what the Hebrew word? The Hebrew word is mishpat. Often the Old Testament, this word applied in God's own character. And justice means treating. Means treating people right because you know God. For us, sometimes Christmas time is just certainly a means of doing right and less fortunate because we know God. This morning, we had our appreciation Sunday in the church. We always give appreciation for all the people who are working in a different ministry. And then I propose this year that we will not give any material things to anyone. We just have like a simple lunch. I said we will donate the money that we will give to everyone to overseas for people who are in need. Just for example, just one example, there's like an earthquake was happened in Mindanao a month ago, I guess. And then we want a portion of that gift to that place. It's good for us to think about, like, give or treating right to people. Not only justice, even mercy. So it's very small, okay? What does God want from His people? Justice and then mercy. Mercy means loyal love or patient love. Because doing unto others as God has done unto you, it means godless. You need His love and forgiveness. And this is how God wants us to be. The word sometimes translated, His mercy endures forever. It means loving the unlovely even when they don't love you back. It speaks to our obligation to care for people who then care for us. Who will do it? Can we expect the non-Christian? Of course, the believers, the followers, the disciples of Jesus Christ will be the one who can show mercy for those people who are in need. Every other week, we have an outreach. On Sunday afternoon, we feed the homeless people. We call it Streetsville Hope Outreach. We are helping those people. Just last month, I think 2 people died in that place. So show mercy. And the third one in here. So God, so think back across the last 12 months. This is now the last month. How has God treated you this year? God has blessed you? Then the answer is yes. Then bless others. How you can bless others? You will say, oh, I don't have money, I don't have work. You can be a blessing by prayer or calls. But if you have something to give, you can give. And how God has given you, then how God is forgiven you, then forgive others. Did God forgiven our sin? God forgiven us, then forgive others.